Now, for 70,000 people in the UK, British Sign Language is their first or preferred language.
Now, the British Deaf Association is campaigning for more of us to learn regardless of how well we can hear. Well, joining us now is Dr. Tyrone Wolfe from the British Deaf Association and his interpreter, Roger Beeston, who's busily signing away, and Scarlett Scanlan, who's been teaching sign language since she was 14 years old. Well, very good morning to all of you. Thank you for coming in and talking to us. Tyrone, let's start with you. You're a fantastic example to so many people. Tell us what it's like not to be able to hear.
Well, it's not an issue for me. My family are all deaf. There's been 10 generations of deaf people in my family. So it's not a question of not being able to hear, it's being able to sign. What's it like for you not being able to sign?
Well, I have to say, I feel very embarrassed today. I wish I could sign at you.
Well, most people have a genuine interest in learning sign language. Children certainly do, and I think Scarlett will tell you more about that in a moment. But it's a valid language. It's not just something to play about with. It's a real language in its own right.
And Scarlett, that's why you've been teaching it as well as learning it. Just tell us what difference it would make then if more people could sign, more hearing people.
I think it makes a tremendous difference. So many deaf people just want to go into town and just want to get a newspaper, for example, and they can't get that newspaper because they can't interpret and they can't communicate with the man who's got the newspapers. I went into a shop a little while ago and there was a magazine that a gentleman wanted, and he was deaf and he was trying to tell this man he wanted this magazine, and I stood there for a minute and I just couldn't think to myself, you know, I couldn't believe that this man couldn't understand it.
Yeah, he's lucky you were there, you were able to help them.
Yeah, I said, you know, the guy wants this magazine. He was like, oh, I've got that behind the shelf, and so he got it in the end. But if that gentleman had known just the basics of sign language, the whole situation would have been a hell of a lot easier.
Tell us how difficult it is to learn how to sign. Well, because it's a language, it's the same as you learn French, for example. You have to learn it, but you have to practice it. The problem is that you know, it's where you can practice it, and there are places all over the country where you can use sign language. In a way, it's more easy to practice sign language than learning French. Despite the fact that government has acknowledged sign language, we want official recognition for sign language. I think once it's officially recognised and gets proper funding, then I think the situation will improve with regard to learning sign language.
Well, Roger, we're going to have to get you to teach us a little bit in a moment, certainly how to say good morning at the very least. But
no,
Scarlett...
No. It's much
maybe
better
more
for a deaf person to teach you.
Oh, OK.
OK, well, you can teach us then, Tyrone. But just before the moment comes, Scarlett, hearing there that is it really easier to learn than a language like French or German?
Definitely. I've done French for my GCSEs, and I've done sign language stage 1, and I picked up sign language stage 1 within a year and passed my exam. I spent 5 years on French, and it isn't all that easy. For me, maybe because I'm hard of hearing, but I still had a group of 32 girls that were with me in that class, and in school I used quite a lot of sign language with my friend and that. And even though they're all hearing, they still took it on and said, you know, we'd like to. Yeah. And they said it's just so much easier. And it is.
Do you feel that attitudes are changing an awful lot? I mean, certainly we're seeing now in Holby City and various other soaps, I mean, Casualty, they have deaf actors and actresses, don't they? And that presumably mends some of the bridges and takes away some prejudice.
Yeah, I do see a lot more sign language than I ever did. Definitely now in like CSI, for example, they have a crime scene investigation programme, so a lot of sign language in that. News is all in sign language now. BBC earlier this morning did sign language.
4 weddings and a funeral.
Yeah, It's definitely more awareness, but I think that it needs to come a bit home more. It needs to be, you know, more available.
OK, Tyrone, how do we say good morning then in sign language?
Good morning. Just good.
Good.
And morning.
Morning.
Welcome to breakfast.
Oh no, this is getting complicated.
Welcome.
Oh, that's easy.
Welcome to breakfast.
It's not that hard, really, is it?
No, I think it's helpful if you mouth the word at the same time. A lot of people think that when you learn sign language that you've got to keep your mouth completely shut
Yes.
and they look like puppets. It's not like that. You're allowed to move your mouth as you sign. That's fine.
Speak at the same time. So good morning, welcome to breakfast.
Hey,
Oh,
expert.
well done, well done.
You. Thank you. Now, you've been carrying some leaflets with you, Scarlett. Tell us quickly about those.
This is a book that I made last year, and it's just to show you how easy sign language is.
Fantastic.
And it's for children. And what it is my primary school, I did a big a campaign, and for all the first years to draw a picture of every letter, fish, gate, stuff like that. And then we took it to South End Library, and one of the mayors from the South End Council come down and picked the pictures himself, 26 pictures, and then we put the book together, and we had we've done 1,000 of these.
Wonderful.
But we've given them all away now to schools, so we don't have any left. But this is the only two I have.
Better print some more then after this
We'll have the
programme. I'm sure
photocopy
there'll be
of
more
them.
demand.
I'm waiting for another publisher to fund me on bringing this book back out, and hopefully I can get it all over the country in every school one
Good
day.
on you.
We'll
Well
put the
done you.
details on
Thank
our
you
website.
very much indeed. Scarlett, to Tyrone, thank you. And also to Roger.
And to you, Roger, thank you very much indeed. Yeah, I suppose the advantage for school children of learning to sign is that, of course, the teacher can't hear you when you're having a chat behind their back. Yes, there's an incentive, isn't
Sorry,
there?
if you want to know more about sign language, have a look at the website www.learntosign.org.uk.
That's fantastic, and we'll certainly put that website address on our website so people can have an easy link to it. Thank you very much for coming to speak to us.
Yeah, just to reiterate that, our website, www.bbc.co.uk/breakfast, all the details there.
OK, let's move on.